Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we are counting down 5 watches that represent, in our view, the clearest and most compelling argument that Seiko and Grand Seiko belong in the same conversation as the greatest watch companies on Earth. This is not a list about value for money, though every watch here delivers it in abundance. It is a list about watches that leave a mark on the people who wear them, watches that change how you think about what a watch can be. 5 timepieces, 5 distinct experiences, one company with over a century of accumulated mastery behind every one of them. Let's get into it. Number 5. Seiko SKX007. The Seiko SKX007 is a watch that has already won every argument it will ever need to have. Produced from 1996 to 2019, and now available only on the secondary market, it spent 23 years proving itself on millions of wrists under every conceivable condition, and when Seiko finally retired it, the collector community responded with a grief that said everything about what had been lost. What made the SKX007 so enduringly beloved is not easy to reduce to a specification. The 42mm cushion case, the black dial with its orange chapter ring and cathedral hands, the 200-meter water resistance, and the reliable caliber 7S26. These are the facts, and the facts are good. But the experience of wearing an SKX007 is larger than the facts. It is the experience of wearing a watch with a genuine community behind it, a proven history beneath it, and a design identity so complete that it requires nothing from the wearer except the decision to put it on. On the pre-owned market today, it represents one of the finest possible entries into serious watch collecting, a piece of living horological history available for the price of a weekend away. The Seiko SKX007 is available pre-owned for approximately $200 $350 USD. Number 4. Seiko 5 Sports SRPD55. The Seiko 5 Sports SRPD55 makes its case the moment it arrives on the wrist. Not gradually, not on reflection, but immediately and without hesitation. The deep blue dial, textured and dimensional with applied indices that catch the light along each polished edge, is simply not a dial that should exist at this price. It speaks a visual language of quality that the number on the tag does not prepare you for and cannot fully explain. The cushion case sits with a solidity and balance that inspires confidence rather than the vague disappointment that budget watches too often deliver on first contact. Caliber 4R36 provides everything a daily wear automatic needs: self-winding, hackable, hand-windable, day-date display, and a 41-hour power reserve that handles the full working week without interruption. The exhibition case back turns a mundane glance into a small lesson in mechanical watchmaking. The signed deploy and clasp on the solid bracelet is the kind of detail that brands at twice the price omit as a cost-saving measure. The SRPD55 is the answer to anyone who believes that mechanical watchmaking cannot be genuinely, uncompromisingly good under $250. It is proof to the contrary, wearing its price tag with the easy confidence of a watch that has nothing to prove and knows it. The Seiko 5 Sports SRPD55 retails for approximately $220 USDT. Number 3. Seiko Prospex Alpinist SPB121. The Seiko Prospex Alpinist SPB121 does not compete. That is its most important quality, and the one most worth understanding before any other. Every other watch at its price point is competing for attention, for comparison, for the sale. The Alpinist simply exists, fully formed and entirely itself, secure in an identity built up over 66 years of continuous refinement in the service of a specific purpose. The internal compass bezel, legible through the sapphire crystal, exists nowhere else in watchmaking. The crown at 4 o'clock, born from the practical necessity of climbing ropes and heavy gloves, creates an asymmetric silhouette that is recognizable from across a room. The sunburst green dial shifts through a range of tones from deep viridian to near black that no other watch in this color family matches for complexity or beauty. Caliber 6R35 runs for 70 hours on a full wind. 200 meters of water resistance extends the watch's capability to every environment it might face. LumiBrite loads the hands and markers for pre-dawn starts on mountain approaches. The SPB121 is the watch for the person who has stopped shopping and started choosing, because choosing this watch is choosing a piece of watchmaking history that will not be superseded, only succeeded, and whose particular character will never be replicated at any price. The Seiko Prospex Alpinist SPB121 retails for approximately $525 USD. Number 2. Seiko Presage Sharp Edged SPB169. The Seiko Presage Sharp Edged SPB169 asks you to reconsider what a dial is. Not what a dial looks like, what it fundamentally is as an object in the world. Most dials are surfaces, finished, printed, lacquered, applied upon. The SPB169's dial is a structure. Each of its hand-finished, geometrically precise facets is an individual element, oriented with intention, ground to specification, and positioned to do one specific thing. Intercept light from a particular angle and return it to the eye at a particular color, depth, and intensity that no adjacent facet shares. The inspiration is kiriko, the ancient Japanese art of cut glass, a tradition of bending light through careful geometry that has been practiced for centuries in decorative objects of the highest cultural standing. On the SPB169, that tradition is miniaturized and applied to a 39.3mm dial in deep blue, and the result is a watch that is never the same watch twice. It changes with every movement, every light source, every hour of the day. Owning it means discovering it repeatedly, indefinitely. Caliber 6R35 provides a 70-hour power reserve, and sapphire crystal protects the surface beneath it. The case finishing exceeds standard export production. At its price, the SPB169 offers something that cannot be found in any other watch, a dial that uses light as its primary material. The Seiko Presage Sharp Edged SPB169 retails for approximately $700 USD. Number 1. Grand Seiko SBGA211 Snowflake. There is a moment when you first see the Grand Seiko SBGA211 Snowflake in person rather than in a photograph, when the experience of it separates completely from any prior description you have encountered. Every review, every video, every carefully chosen word has been reaching for it, and none of them, including this one, arrives. The dial is not white, it is not a texture, it is not a finish. It is the result of a process developed at the Shinshu Watch Studio in Nagano, where winters last long enough to make snow not a spectacle but a condition of life, and where the artisans who build these dials work within sight of the landscapes that inspired them. The material is built up in layers by hand, producing a three-dimensional surface of such irregular and organic precision that it replicates, in tactile and optical terms, the exact quality of fresh snowfall, the way individual crystals accumulate into a surface that is simultaneously consistent and endlessly varied, that holds light within its depth rather than merely reflecting it from the surface. No two dials are identical, each one is made once. The spring drive. Caliber 9R65 inside occupies its own philosophical territory entirely. Mechanical energy from a wound spring, precision regulation from a quartz oscillator integrated into the movement architecture, producing plus or minus 1 second per day accuracy, and a seconds hand whose motion is not a sweep, not a tick, not a step, but a glide, continuous, uninterrupted, the closest thing to the actual passage of time that any watch has ever produced. The titanium case is Zaratsu polished to optical flatness. The bracelet flows from it as a single resolved object. The SBGA211 Snowflake does not need this list. It does not need to be number 1 or reviewed or described. It needs only to be worn, held against a window on a winter morning, or studied under a single lamp at the end of a long day, or glanced at between meetings when the world needs to slow down for a moment. It does all of this every time without fail. The Grand Seiko SBGA211 Snowflake retails for approximately $5,800 USD.